The void of space stretched endlessly before Commander Alara Hayes as her ship, the Horizon Voyager, drifted near the edge of the Tarsis sector. Stars glittered like shards of crystal in the darkness, and silent planets spun slowly, forgotten by most of the galaxy. Humanity had been expanding cautiously for decades, but no one dared go too far beyond known territories, except a few reckless salvage crews like Alara's. Alara leaned against the command console, her eyes scanning the radar. "Nothing yet," she muttered, though her stomach told her otherwise. There was something unusual in this sector, something that didn't belong. The sensors had picked up a massive object buried in an asteroid field, and the readings were strange. Too precise, too massive to be natural. Lieutenant Marco Jin, her second in command, tapped a few keys. "Whatever it is, it's old. Very old. Systems show nearly zero power output and the hull is deteriorated, probably hasn't been active for centuries." Alara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Old doesn't mean useless, Lieutenant. Remember, humans are best at turning the impossible into reality." The Horizon Voyager carefully approached the anomaly. From a distance, the massive shape was barely visible, shadowed by drifting asteroids. As they closed, the outline became clearer. It was a starship, but unlike anything they had ever seen. Towering, angular, and heavily armored, it dwarfed most contemporary human vessels. Parts of its hull were corroded, panels missing, and long-forgotten weapon emplacements hung silently, like monuments to a forgotten war. "By the stars," Marco whispered. "It's huge. Do you really think we can reclaim it?" Alara's gaze did not leave the screen. "We don't just reclaim it, we restore it. Humans don't walk away from things others call impossible." The crew prepared the boarding pods. As they navigated through the debris, the derelict ship loomed larger and larger. Its sheer scale was intimidating. The hull was scored with deep gouges from asteroid impacts, and a faint, flickering energy signature suggested some of its internal systems were still alive. "Looks like it has automated defenses," Marco said, noting several inactive turrets spinning slowly on the deck. "If we're not careful, we could trigger something." Alara nodded. "Proceed cautiously. Remember, we're not just salvagers, we're explorers. Treat this as a mission of discovery first." The boarding pod docked with the ship's side. As the airlock hissed open, the crew stepped inside. Darkness greeted them, broken only by weak emergency lights flickering along the corridors. The smell of burnt circuits and old fuel filled the air. "This place is ancient," whispered Engineer Lyra Said, holding a portable scanner. "Some of these alloys haven't been produced in over 500 years. "Which means it's priceless," Alara said, moving forward. "And dangerous. Stay alert." They navigated through narrow corridors, the walls adorned with alien inscriptions and faded insignia. The scale of the ship amazed them. What had looked enormous from outside was even more impressive internally. Vast chambers opened into one another, some large enough to hold multiple human ships. Suddenly, the ship trembled slightly, and a distant metallic clang echoed through the hallways. The crew froze. "Was that?" Marco began. "Something moved," Alara interrupted. "Drones. Likely automated defense units. Don't fire unless we have to." From the shadows, a small mechanical scout emerged, its sensors glowing faintly red. It moved with an eerie precision, scanning the humans. Lyra held her breath, but before anyone could act, the drone powered down completely, its circuits fried, likely by age and neglect. Alara exhaled slowly. "We'll need to be ready for more. These systems may be unstable, but they still have their purpose." Hours passed as they explored the ship. They discovered storage rooms filled with long-expired supplies, laboratories containing alien technology, and a command bridge that was enormous, even by human standards. The ship's central AI core was dormant, but data logs suggested it had once been a flagship in a vast galactic war. Lyra's eyes widened as she accessed a terminal. "Alara, this ship. It's not just powerful, it's advanced beyond anything in the current galaxy. If we can restore even half of this, humans could have a ship capable of surviving almost any engagement. Alara felt a surge of excitement mixed with responsibility. That's why we didn't come here for scraps. This ship is a gift and a challenge. We reclaim it, and the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. But their triumph was short-lived. As they continued exploring, sensors detected a fleet approaching. Not just any fleet, but scavenger ships from the Tharian Syndicate, pirates who had been watching the region for decades, waiting for someone foolish enough to touch the derelict warship. "They found us," Marco said grimly. Alara didn't hesitate. "Prepare the pod for evacuation if necessary, but we are not leaving this ship behind. The moment they board, they underestimate us, they lose. Remember, humans always find a way." The first skirmish began in the asteroid field outside. Using the Horizon Voyager's agility, Alara and Marco outmaneuvered the Syndicate ships, using debris and gravity wells as shields. Inside the derelict ship, automated systems responded unpredictably. Turrets activated briefly, doors slammed shut, and corridors reconfigured due to failing maintenance protocols. The human crew adapted quickly. They used knowledge, improvisation, and teamwork, humans' greatest weapons. Where alien crews relied on brute force or sheer firepower, humans outsmarted their attackers. The Syndicate ships, powerful but rigid in tactics, were forced to retreat after losing several vessels to clever ambushes. Breathing heavily, Alara looked around the bridge of the derelict ship, now partially under human control. "We've taken the first step," she said softly. "But this is just the beginning. There's a galaxy full of powers who will want this, and we will show them. Humans do not surrender." The crew spent the next few days assessing the ship. They discovered intact engines, massive weapon systems, and storage bays filled with ancient but recoverable supplies. Every corner held potential, every corridor a lesson in resilience and history. "This ship has survived centuries of neglect and enemy attacks," Lyra said as she examined a power conduit. "If humans can restore it, there is nothing we can't face." Alara stood on the bridge, staring at the stars beyond the viewport. Human hands reclaimed this forgotten colossus, and one day it will be a symbol of our power. The galaxy won't just know us, it will respect us. In that quiet moment, the ship hummed faintly, almost as if responding to the humans who dared to dream beyond the limits set by others. Somewhere deep within its circuits, the dormant AI flickered to life, sensing new life aboard. It had waited centuries for someone capable enough to awaken it, and humanity, as always, had proven it could rise to the challenge. The massive derelict ship now floated safely in a hidden human-controlled shipyard orbiting the neutral star Zephyria. Its shadow loomed over the smaller maintenance vessels that bustled around it like ants. The humans called it Aurora's Hand, a name that reflected their hope and ambition. Restoring the ship would not be easy, but humanity had never faced a challenge it could not overcome. Commander Alara Hayes stood on the observation deck, watching engineers scramble along scaffolding, inspecting hull panels and patching deep gouges. She tapped her communicator. "Status report, Lyra." Engineer Lyra Said's voice crackled through. "Hull repairs are progressing, but some sections are beyond simple patchwork. We'll need alloy from 3 nearby mines and additional reinforcement plates. Weapons systems are offline. Life support is functional only in the lower decks, but we can expand it." Alara nodded. "Begin sourcing the materials immediately. Every hour counts. Marco, coordinate security. We're sitting on a target the galaxy won't ignore for long." The first week was a whirlwind of activity. Humans worked day and night, repairing engines, reconnecting circuits, and bringing alien systems back online. Unlike other species, humans had no manual or blueprint for the ship. They studied the alien designs, experimented, and improvised. Where the aliens relied on uniformity and rigid logic, humans relied on curiosity and intuition. Slowly, the Aurora's hand began to stir from its centuries-long slumber. One night, Lyra discovered something unexpected in the central reactor. Alara, these energy conduits, they're designed for power amplification beyond any human engine we've seen. If we can stabilize it, we could potentially double the output of modern starships. Alara's eyes gleamed. Then we do it. We'll need to be careful. One wrong move and we could destroy the ship, or worse. As repairs continued, rumors of the restoration spread. Alien factions had long believed the ship lost forever, and now whispers of humans tampering with it reached ears that should have been far away. The first warning came in the form of a Tharian Syndicate scout ship attempting to enter the orbit around Zephyria. Intruders detected, Marco reported. Looks like they want the ship before we can fully restore it. Alara's expression hardened. Prepare defenses. Let them come. Humans do not give up their work to pirates. The Syndicate launched an attack that was both bold and reckless. They sent several fighters through the asteroid belt surrounding Zephyria, expecting the humans to panic. Instead, the humans used the environment to their advantage. The Aurora's hands partially restored turrets targeted the incoming ships with precision, while small human fighters used the asteroids as cover, striking and disappearing before the enemy could react. Lyra cheered from her station. They didn't expect humans to fight like this. The ship's old weapons are still effective with the right adjustments, Alara nodded, and they won't expect what we'll do next. Human ingenuity shone brightest in moments of crisis. When the Syndicate's flagship attempted a boarding maneuver, humans set traps along the shipyard's corridors. Automated drones, once defensive, were reprogrammed to stun rather than kill, incapacitating intruders without endangering the ship. Explosive charges were carefully placed to collapse corridors and funnel enemies into dead ends. By the time the alien ships retreated, the Aurora's hand had proven itself as more than just a relic. It was a warship rebuilt by human hands, unpredictable and deadly in ways the galaxy had never seen. But the victory was only the beginning. Alara knew that restoring the ship fully would require more than ingenuity. It would require relentless determination. She gathered her senior crew in the command center. Listen carefully, she said. We are not just repairing a ship. We are rebuilding a legacy. Every system we restore, every deck we repair, sends a message to the galaxy. Humans do not fail. But there will be those who want this ship for themselves. We must be faster, smarter, and stronger than any of them. The crew nodded, ready for the challenge. Over the next month, progress accelerated. Humans reverse-engineered alien technology, learning how to integrate it with their own systems. Life support was expanded to sustain a crew of thousands. Engines were repaired, and navigation systems were calibrated. Humans used ingenuity that no alien species could match. Where other civilizations relied on pre-programmed solutions, humans experimented, sometimes failing spectacularly, but always learning and improving. During this time, Lyra discovered the ship's AI core, a massive, ancient system that had lain dormant for centuries. She worked tirelessly to reconnect it to human systems. Slowly, the AI stirred, its consciousness flickering like a candle in the dark. "Commander," Lyra said one evening, eyes wide with excitement, "the AI is awake, but it's cautious. It's testing us." Alara approached the console. On the screen, streams of alien code flowed and transformed into readable patterns. The AI's voice was low, almost mechanical but curious. "Humans," it said, "you have awakened me." "Why?" Alara straightened. "Because we can. Because we are humans and we do not leave greatness buried. We intend to restore this ship, not as a weapon of war, but as a symbol of what humanity can achieve." There was a pause. Then the AI responded, almost with a sense of awe. Curiosity, ingenuity, persistence, qualities lost to many in this galaxy. I will cooperate. With the AI partially aligned to human commands, restoration accelerated further. Weapons systems came online, shields stabilized, and engine output increased beyond expectations. Every success was a testament to human determination and creativity. However, the galaxy had not forgotten. Word of the Aurora's hand reached the Korath Dominion, a militaristic alien empire known for their ruthless tactics. They sent an envoy to Zephyria, demanding the humans' hand over the ship. Alara met the envoy personally on the neutral station. The Korathian leader, tall and armored in black, sneered. "Humans, you tamper with powers you do not understand. Surrender the ship or face destruction." Alara smiled calmly. "This ship belongs to no empire but humanity. If you wish to test us, you will find humans are not as fragile as you believe." The Korathian left, unimpressed but wary. Alara knew it was only a matter of time before larger fleets arrived to challenge them, but she was undeterred. Back on the ship, the crew worked tirelessly. The Aurora's hand began to move under its own power, engines humming with energy. Humans tested navigation and weapons systems, preparing for the inevitable. Every trial, every repair, made the crew stronger and more confident. They were not just restoring a ship, they were mastering it. During a final test of the ship's capabilities, the Aurora's hand fired its main engines at full power, propelling itself through the Zephyria system. Asteroids tumbled under the shockwave and small ships raced alongside to observe. The humans cheered. They had done it. The ship was alive, functional, and deadly. Alara gazed at the stars, thinking of the challenges ahead. "The galaxy is watching," she said softly, "and soon they will see what humans can do when we refuse to surrender." For the first time in centuries, the derelict warship, once forgotten and abandoned, became a symbol of hope, ingenuity, and unstoppable human determination. Its restoration was proof that even in a galaxy dominated by advanced alien civilizations, humans could take the impossible and make it reality. And as humans worked tirelessly, preparing the Aurora's hand for its first journey into hostile space, one truth became clear. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. The Aurora's hand glided silently through the Zephyria system, its engines humming with a power that humans had never wielded before. Commander Alara Hayes stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond the viewport. She had spent months restoring this ship with her crew, and now it was ready to prove itself. "First mission," she said, her voice steady. "We are not just testing this ship. We are showing the galaxy what humans can do when they refuse to give up." Lieutenant Marco Jin tapped the navigation console. "We've received a distress signal from a nearby colony on Veridian Prime. Their transport fleet is under attack by the Korath Dominion." Alara's lips curved into a small smile. "Perfect. Let's give them a demonstration." The Aurora's hand moved at incredible speed, dwarfing any other ship in the sector. Its weapons systems, once dormant for centuries, were now alive and ready. Humans had combined alien technology with their own designs, creating an unpredictable and highly efficient combat platform. As they approached Veridian Prime, sensors detected a fleet of Korathian destroyers surrounding the colony's transport ships. The aliens had superior numbers and firepower, confident in their ability to crush the humans. "Targeting systems online," Lyra Said reported. "Shields at 80%. Weapons primed." Alara nodded. "Remember, humans do not fight like anyone else. Use strategy, speed, and surprise. Don't just match them, outthink them." The battle began with a sudden surge. The Aurora's hand darted between asteroids, weaving unpredictably. Its weapons fired with precision, disabling key Korathian ships before they could retaliate. Human fighters, small and agile, launched from the ship's hangars, striking enemy vessels at weak points, then disappearing into the debris. The Korathian fleet, though technologically advanced, was unprepared for the humans' tactics. They relied on strict formations and predictable maneuvers, while humans adapted instantly, exploiting every weakness. One destroyer aimed a heavy plasma cannon at the Aurora's hand. Marco quickly calculated the trajectory. "We'll use their own momentum against them," he said. The ship's AI core assisted, coordinating a sudden maneuver that caused the destroyer to collide with a nearby asteroid, obliterating it instantly. "Impressive," Lyra said, her eyes wide. "They don't expect humans to think this fast." Ilara's smile was calm. "They'll learn soon enough." The humans continued their assault, disabling enemy ships one by one. They rescued transport vessels, repaired shields mid-battle, and maintained cohesion despite overwhelming odds. Every action showcased a hallmark of humanity: adaptability. Where other species relied on rigid tactics, humans improvised, taking risks that often led to victory. Meanwhile, the Aurora's Hand's AI core began to interact with the humans in more sophisticated ways. It suggested maneuvers, anticipated enemy strategies, and even proposed combinations of alien and human technology to increase efficiency. Humans, rather than being replaced by the AI, used its input creatively, improving both strategy and morale. After hours of relentless combat, the Korathian fleet began to retreat. Their ships were damaged, morale shattered, and their confidence in human weakness thoroughly broken. Humans had proven that ingenuity, courage, and quick thinking could overcome even the most overwhelming odds. The colony on Veridian Prime erupted in cheers as the transport ships returned safely. Ilara stood on the bridge, her heart filled with pride. "This is only the beginning," she said quietly. "The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. They will remember us now." In the days that followed, the Aurora's Hand continued its missions. Humans repaired failing colonies, rescued ships from hostile zones, and demonstrated capabilities that alien civilizations had long thought impossible. Word of their successes spread quickly, earning respect and fear throughout the galaxy. During one mission, the humans encountered an abandoned alien research station. The station contained advanced technology far beyond current human understanding. While some species would have left it alone, humans saw opportunity. They studied the technology, reverse-engineered systems, and integrated select components into the Aurora's Hand. Each improvement made the ship more powerful, more versatile, and more unpredictable. Ilara knew that power alone was not enough. Humans had to demonstrate strategy, ethics, and resilience. In every encounter, they avoided unnecessary destruction, choosing instead to disable enemy ships or rescue innocents. Aliens began to notice a pattern. Humans were efficient, ruthless when necessary, but always unpredictable. It was during a patrol near the Scifi's belt that they encountered a coalition of alien raiders. The coalition had hoped to ambush the humans, believing them inexperienced. Instead, the humans used the belt's gravity wells and debris fields to set traps. The Aurora's Hand's weapons disabled the lead ships, while human fighters maneuvered behind enemy lines, disabling engines and shields. Within hours, the raiders were either fleeing or surrendering. After the battle, Marco reported, "They didn't expect humans to turn a disadvantage into a trap." Ilara nodded. "That's the difference. Humans don't just fight, we adapt, we learn, and we never give up." The Aurora's Hand soon became more than a warship, it became a symbol. Colonies under threat began to seek human assistance, not just for protection but for hope. Humans were proving that even against overwhelming odds, persistence and intelligence could turn the tide. During a quiet moment on the bridge, Lyra looked at the stars. "Ilara, every mission we complete, it's like we're rewriting the rules of the galaxy." Ilara smiled. "Exactly. Humans have always been underestimated. That ends now." Every alien empire, every fleet, every council, they will all learn the same lesson. Humans are a force to be reckoned with. The ship's AI flickered, communicating through the bridge's central console. Humans are remarkable. Adaptation and intuition surpass any programming I have witnessed. Alara laughed softly. Then learn from us, and help us show the galaxy what humans can do. But the human victories did not go unnoticed. The Korath Dominion, humiliated by previous defeats, began organizing a massive fleet to challenge humanity directly. Reports of human ingenuity, unconventional tactics, and the unstoppable power of the Aurora's hand spread quickly, causing alarm among other alien civilizations. Alara convened a strategy meeting with her senior officers. "The Dominion will come," she said, "and they will bring everything they have, but humans don't back down. We don't fight the same way as others. We use every advantage, every idea, every risk we can manage, and we win." The crew listened intently. They knew the coming battle would be the most dangerous yet, but they also knew that humans had something other species lacked: creativity, courage, and the will to rise above impossible odds. Weeks later, scouts detected the approaching fleet. Hundreds of Korathian ships moved in formation, confident in their numerical superiority. But as the humans took their positions, using debris fields, asteroids, and unpredictable maneuvers, the enemy began to realize their mistake. The Aurora's hand struck at weak points in the fleet, while human fighters disabled engines, leaving the Korathian vessels vulnerable and disorganized. The battle raged for hours, but the result was inevitable. Humans, through intelligence, teamwork, and courage, forced the alien fleet into retreat. It was a victory that would be remembered across the galaxy. Alara watched the retreating ships vanish into the darkness. "They will think twice before challenging humans again," she said. The crew erupted in cheers, proud of what they had achieved. The Aurora's hand had not only survived its first real tests, it had proven that humans were a power unlike any other in the galaxy. As the ship sailed into deeper space, Alara looked at her crew. "This is just the beginning. We have shown the galaxy that humans can achieve the impossible, and soon they will know humans are not just survivors. We are the future." For the first time, humans aboard the Aurora's hand felt the full weight of their potential. They had reclaimed a forgotten starship, restored it against all odds, and proven that intelligence, ingenuity, and courage could overcome even the most powerful enemies. The galaxy was watching, and humanity had made its presence known. In the silence of space, the Aurora's hand glided forward, unstoppable, a symbol of human supremacy and determination. The galaxy had begun to change. Stories of the Aurora's hand and its human crew traveled faster than light across trade routes, colonies, and council chambers. Once dismissed as a minor species, humans were now a symbol of ingenuity, courage, and unstoppable determination. Yet, Commander Alara Hayes knew that recognition alone was not enough. To ensure humanity's survival and influence, they had to show true dominance, not through fear alone, but through mastery, strategy, and leadership. The Aurora's hand drifted in orbit above the planet Nivara, a world recently threatened by a coalition of alien raiders. Humans had been called in not to fight mindlessly, but to protect, stabilize, and rebuild. It was a simple yet powerful message. Humanity would not just conquer, they would lead. "Scans complete," Lyra Said reported from engineering. "Raider presence is scattered. Shields on the colony are weak. They're not expecting a full human assault." Alara leaned forward, her gaze steady. "Then we give them a demonstration they will never forget." Within hours, human forces coordinated a complex operation. Using the Aurora's hand as command, human fighters struck raider positions with surgical precision. They disabled weapons without destroying infrastructure, rescued prisoners, and rerouted supply ships. Every move showcased human adaptability. Where alien factions relied on brute force, Humans used intelligence, improvisation, and ethics. News of the operation spread instantly. Colonies that had once doubted humanity now sent emissaries to request protection. Former enemies began reconsidering alliances. The Aurora's hand was no longer just a ship, it was a beacon, a reminder that humans could rise above adversity and reshape the galaxy's balance of power. But true dominance required more than saving colonies. Alara knew the Korath Dominion, humiliated and enraged by previous defeats, would soon return with overwhelming force. Humans had to be prepared. In the ship's strategic command room, Alara addressed her officers. The Dominion will bring everything they have. They may be more powerful in numbers, but humans have something they do not: creativity, courage, and the will to adapt. We will strike first, strike smart, and strike hard. We do not fight as they do, we fight as humans. The plan was daring. The humans would enter the Korathian heart sector, strike key fleets before reinforcements could arrive, and dismantle their command structure in a single coordinated blow. It was a mission that could succeed only because humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and willing to take calculated risks. As the humans advanced toward the Korathian core, scouts reported massive fleets moving to intercept them. The Dominion had underestimated humans once, and now they intended to correct that mistake. Alara's voice rang through the ship. All units hold formation. Follow the plan, trust your instincts, and remember, humans adapt, humans survive, humans win. The first encounter was chaotic. The Korathian flagship fired plasma cannons that could obliterate planets, while destroyers flanked aggressively. But humans were not rigid. The Aurora's hand's AI guided the ship through asteroid fields and gravity wells, creating unpredictable angles for attack. Human fighters darted in and out, exploiting every flaw in the enemy formation. One destroyer fired directly at the Aurora's hand. Marco Jin quickly calculated a countermaneuver. "We'll use their own momentum against them," he shouted. The massive ship veered at the last second, sending the enemy vessel careening into a nearby asteroid. It exploded in a brilliant flash of fire and metal. Lyra Said cheered. "They can't anticipate humans. They never can." Hours of relentless battle followed. Humans disabled enemy engines, hacked shield systems using reverse-engineered alien technology, and rescued captured ships from the battlefield. The Korath Dominion's fleet, despite its size and firepower, was repeatedly outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and humiliated. Finally, Alara ordered the decisive strike. The Aurora's hand unleashed its full arsenal on the enemy command ships. Shields failed, weapons systems overloaded, and the fleet's cohesion collapsed. The Korathian leader sent a surrender signal, but humans responded not with arrogance but with pragmatism. The Dominion would be allowed to retreat, but their power would be broken. The victory marked a turning point. Across the galaxy, humans were no longer underestimated. Alien empires realized that humans were not only capable of defending themselves, they could lead, innovate, and dominate strategically. Humans were now recognized as a supreme power, not by numbers alone, but by intellect, courage, and resourcefulness. As the Aurora's hand returned to Zephyria for resupply, Alara reflected on the journey. From the moment humans first discovered the derelict ship, they had transformed it into a force that reshaped galactic politics. Every repair, every battle, every decision had strengthened their reputation and skill. The ship was more than technology, it was proof that humans could accomplish the impossible. On the bridge, Lyra turned to Alara. "Commander, we've done more than win battles. We've changed the galaxy's perception of humans. No empire, no faction, no council will ever look at us the same way again." Alara nodded. "And that is only the beginning. Humans will continue to grow, explore, and lead. We have proven what we can do with our hands, minds, and courage. The galaxy is ours, not by conquest alone, but by the very fact that humans never give up." The Aurora's hand continued its patrols, acting as both protector and symbol. Former colonies now willingly allied with humans, and even distant civilizations began sending envoys to negotiate rather than fight. Human influence expanded not through fear alone, but through trust, competence, and the demonstration that they could overcome any challenge. Months later, the Galactic Council convened a special session to discuss humanity's rise. Alien leaders, some hesitant, others alarmed, recognized that humans were now a major force. Ilara and her crew were invited, not as diplomats but as equals, a moment that would have been unimaginable before the discovery of the Aurora's hand. During the council, Ilara spoke with calm authority. Humans do not seek war for its own sake. We seek survival, progress, and opportunity. We have proven that even when faced with overwhelming odds, humans adapt, learn, and rise. Let this be a message. Humanity is not a species to underestimate. The council listened in silence. For the first time, they realized that humans had rewritten the rules. Technology alone did not define power. Courage, strategy, and ingenuity did. And humans had all three in abundance. Back on the Aurora's hand, the crew celebrated quietly. They had reclaimed a forgotten colossus, restored it against all odds, and proven to the galaxy that humans were a supreme power. Yet, for Ilara, the greatest victory was not the battles, but the recognition of what humanity could achieve when united, determined, and fearless. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of possibilities, challenges, and mysteries. But humanity was ready. They had proven themselves not as mere survivors, but as leaders, innovators, and masters of the galaxy. Ilara stood at the bridge's viewport, gazing into the blackness of space. "The galaxy knows our name now," she said softly, "and they will remember it for generations. Humans do not surrender. Humans do not fail. Humans endure." The Aurora's hand glowed softly in the darkness, a testament to human hands that had reclaimed, restored, and transformed it into the ultimate symbol of power. Across the galaxy, alien empires reconsidered their strategies, colonies sought alliances, and humans prepared for a future where they would shape their destiny, fearless, creative, and unstoppable. The story of the Aurora's hand had begun as a simple act of discovery and reclamation, but by the end, it had become the legend of humanity itself, a species that turned impossibility into triumph, adversity into opportunity, and obscurity into supremacy. And so humanity rose, not through sheer numbers or alien technology alone, but through the qualities that had always defined them: courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable will to endure. The galaxy had changed forever, and it would never forget the day humans reclaimed the stars.